The Red Sox, Anderson Windows, and your local Anderson Windows dealers. Love the life you see. Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Subaru of New England. Take adventures to new heights in an outback wilderness. Cross Country Mortgage. Dedicated to getting it done. The Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Start your Massachusetts adventure at visitma.com.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey, powered by the Beat the Streak podcast, with new tips daily to help you win a $5.6 million prize. Listen on the Odyssey app and wherever you find your podcasts.
The teams you care about.
The Patriots are now closer to the bottom of the AFC than the top. That's a fact.
The stories that matter to you.
Trevor Story, man, he makes the Red Sox much, much better in 2022.
This is your home for New England sports.
I'm just wondering what happens next for UVA, because I think there could be a lot of turnover on that roster.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Brady Farkas Show on a Thursday here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. You were listening to Red Sox baseball. Sox beaten by the Blue Jays. Final score, 1-0. We've got 45 minutes until we go to Dinner Jazz or Jazz with George Thomas. We got a lot to get to. You're going to want to hit up the Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury text line 802-585-3026. Again, your locally owned Napa stores in Waterbury and Morrisville. You're going to want to hit that up because you're going to want to vent, because I want to vent. We're 20 games into the season. There's a few things I need to get off my damn chest right now about the Red Sox. They're 8-12. They're 5.5 games out of first place. As you heard Will Fleming say just moments ago, it's hard to be 5.5 games out of first place 20 games into the season. You're 5 games out of second place. We told you from the start, you cannot win a division in April, but you certainly can lose a division in April. And the Red Sox are trying their damnedest to do just that. The Red Sox have had 4 series right now against division opponents. They have lost all of them. Unacceptable. This team went to the AL freaking CS last year and was 2 wins away from the World Series. And here you are, 4-9 against your division right now? Let's see. Opening series in New York. You blow opening day, you drop 2 of 3. You lose 2 of 3 against Toronto at home. You lose 2 of 3 to Tampa in a series where you get no hit through 9 innings on Saturday afternoon. You come north of the border and you fold like a cheap suit against Toronto again, and you lose 3 of 4 more. This is unacceptable baseball. I do not think that the Red Sox are awful, but they are playing awful right now. And you know what? You are what your record says you are. And right now, the Red Sox are a bad baseball team. 8-12, 5.5 out of first, 5 back of second. Not only does this not look like a team that can compete for a championship, this looks like a team that's going to be competing for a top 5 pick in the draft. I mean, this is ridiculous. And we can have all the excuses that we want. Oh, the ball is different. Oh, they've played tough teams on the road. Oh, they had their first 6 games wiped out because of the labor distractions or the labor issues. Cora wasn't managing. Houck's not vaccinated. Sure, they all play a part. But you know what? You're supposed to be better than 8-12. Here's a couple things that I need to go after right away. I am done with Travis Shaw. I am not the type in this business who likes to call for another man's job. I think you've probably learned that 18 months into the history of this show. I don't like calling for people to be fired. I don't like calling for people to be released or people to be shipped out of town. This is their career. This is their livelihood. When guys get released, guys get shuttled back and forth to AAA, there's real life impact. Guys have wives, guys have kids, and yo-yoing their career and messing with their family life, That's not something I like doing. I genuinely try to stay away from statements like that, which is hard to do in this business. I've got to get there today. I am done with Travis Shaw. Nice guy, good career, has helped the Red Sox before, helped the Red Sox last year. He is 0 for the world this season. He cannot be on my roster anymore. I mean, 0 for 19, I believe Travis Shaw is now. We're 20 games into the season, and Travis Shaw's batting average is 0. I can't have it anymore. I can't have him as a starter. I can't have him as a pinch hitter. I can't use him as a defensive replacement. They lost a game in part against Toronto because of the pop fly in the infield that Shaw could have caught. Should have caught. I'm done with Travis Shaw. I take no pleasure in saying that. I hope he latches on somewhere and makes me eat my words. I hope his career continues. I don't want this to be the end of Travis Shaw, but it needs to be the end of Travis Shaw in Boston right now. He's not the biggest problem with this team. He's just the first thing I had to get off my chest. Secondly, Jackie Bradley Jr. should not be hitting fifth. I love Chaim Bloom. You screwed up. Jackie Bradley Jr. is a great fourth outfielder. He never should be in a position to start what looks like will be 150-plus games, and he shouldn't be in a position to be hitting fifth. He is hitting 161. I believe last year he hit 163 with the Blue Jays, and they could not wait to get rid of him in his contract. He would have been a great fourth outfielder here for the Red Sox if the Red Sox had signed Kyle Schwarber, if they had signed Saya Suzuki, if they had signed Michael Conforto. Now we know Conforto got injured, but had they signed him at the outset of this thing, Jackie Bradley would have been a great fourth outfielder. He should not be playing every day, and he should not be hitting fifth. 0 for 4 again today. 2 men left on base. He did have, I will say this, in what was the 8th inning, I think, against Manoah, runner at second, they lead off double by Kike, and he rolls over the ball, gets him over to third, and the Red Sox fail to score. That was good situational baseball by Jackie. I'll give him credit for that. He should not be playing every day, should not be hitting fifth. And I remember a month ago, before the season started, I put out on social media, I said on this show, that Jackie should not play 162 games. And Jackie Bradley Jr. himself liked my tweet, like basically, screw off, punk. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s former college teammates in South Carolina came after me on Twitter. Well, here we are, 3.5 weeks into the season, 20 games in, and I would say that right now I've been proven right. I hope that over the course of the next 5 months, I get proven wrong. I hope that his teammates from college who gang busted on me on social media, I hope they are proven right. I want the Red Sox to be winners. I want JBJ to have a good year here, to have a good return to Boston. I don't want him to be bad, but right now he is bad, as I warned you that he would be. So I hope that I'm wrong later, but right now I'm pretty dead on about this. Jackie Bradley shouldn't be playing every day, and he certainly shouldn't be hitting fifth. What else can we go at? Oh, Xander Bogaerts should not have had the day off today. I can reconcile a lot of the analytics stuff. I can reconcile a lot of the new age of thinking. I'm young enough to understand it and appreciate it and understand that it helps a lot. The thing that I'm not going to get is guys getting off days who don't necessarily need them. I know Bogart said yesterday it's hard to play on turf and your body's not. Miss me with all that. Guys used to play 162 games every year, or they try to get as damn well close as possible. Xander Bogaerts went 4 for 4 yesterday, and today he gets a scheduled day off in a swing game of a series? What is that about? What are we doing here? The Red Sox could have won this game. They could have split the series, and we'd have a whole different tone to today's show. Xander Bogaerts could have helped you do that, but instead, Xander Bogaerts gets a planned day off today, one day after going 4 for 4. He gets a planned day off when JD Martinez can't play. So now you got two of your best bats out of the lineup in a swing game against a great pitcher, and that leads you into Kike Hernandez hitting 4th at 197 now. Jackie Bradley hitting 5th at 161. Christian Arroyo hitting 6th at 194 now. Like, Bogaerts, this is a game he had to play. Sit him out tomorrow against Baltimore if you want to in the first game of a series against a much more subpar opponent. This was a game you needed to win. This was a game that Bogaerts needed to play. And by the way, this is no knock on Arroyo. I really do like Christian Arroyo. But the only run you give up today was an unearned run by an errant shortstop. Xander Bogaerts' replacement makes the error that loses you the game. Not only is his bat not in the lineup, but his glove's not in the field either, and you lose the game. Why does he need a day off today? Give him the day off tomorrow. I don't need him to play against Baltimore game 1 of a series. I need him to play against Toronto on the road in the swing game of a series where we have a chance to split it instead of losing 3 of 4. Planned day off. You know when you get days off in Major League Baseball? When you're 0 for your last 18 and you need to clear your head space. Not when you're 4 for 4. You know when you get planned days off? When you're the Blue Jays and Vlad Jr. gets off today because you've already, at minimum, split the series and done your job. Then you can get a day off. But planned day off today and you lose the series, you don't have his bat and you don't have his glove. And I know we all love Cora, and I know he manages the team well, and I get it. I'm not here to crush him for life, but I'm crushing him for today. Xander Bogaerts should have been playing in this game. What else are we upset about here today? Let's just keep picking here. Oh, Bobby Dahlbeck, now hitting 154, getting blown away by fastball after fastball. I saw a take on Twitter today that said, I'm giving up on Dahlbeck. You can't give up on Dahlbeck. Let's understand that. But he's got to be better. What do you want to do with Dahlbeck? You want to cut him? That's stupid, considering he's got so much value in terms of player control. That's dumb. You want to trade him? He's got no trade value at this particular moment. He had trade value in the offseason coming off last year's great second half when I told you to ship him to Oakland or Cincinnati or anyone that would give you a pitcher. That's when he had trade value. He has none now. So no trade value for Dahlbeck now. Stupid to cut him. You want to send him to AAA and bring up Cassis? I don't think that's a good idea. As good as Tristan Cassis is, as good as he appears to be, the gap has never been bigger between AAA and the majors. How many great stud prospects are struggling? You know I'm a Mariners fan, right? Jared Kelenick's hitting 140. Julio Rodriguez is hitting 185. Bobby Witt with the Royals, I believe, is under 200 still. These top prospects from all over baseball are struggling because the major leagues are hard. I'm not rushing Tristan Cassis up so that he can be the next great prospect to be hitting 147 through 100 at-bats. Not until he's absolutely ready am I bringing him up. So Dahlbeck is my guy. For better or worse, he's my guy. He's got to be better. Yes, they could have signed Schwarber and signed Saya Suzuki, like I said, in the offseason, and we would have been on our way here, and Dahlbeck could have been shipped out of town then, but he wasn't. So this is what we've got. Bobby Dahlbeck has got to be better. Phil says Travis Shaw is the Cam Newton of the Red Sox. Travis Shaw is not right now worth being in the same sentence as Cam Newton. Cam Newton won 7 games for the Patriots. Cam Newton went 7-8 as a starter. Travis Shaw has a batting average of 0 and has an E3 that I don't believe was officially given to him, but should have been given to him. That lost you a game against Toronto just a week ago. So no, Cam Newton is better than Travis Shaw. Anybody else want to get in on the Napa-Morrisville, Napa-Waterbury text line? Because I'm still angry. You lose 1-0. The Red Sox have scored 2 runs or less in something like 7 of their last 9 games or something like that. Guys, can we pull up that stat again? Because this offense has been bad and futile for a while now. Can we pull up the Reds? Okay, here we go. Let's see. I mean, how many games? It's like 7 out of 9 or 8 out of 10 or something. So you get 1 run today. You got 7 yesterday. So now we're 1 for 2. You had 5 the other day. So you're 1 for 3. Then you had 2 in the opener this series, 2 in the last game against Tampa. So that's 3 of your last 5. You had 2 against Tampa in the second game of the series. That's 4 of 6. You had 4 against Tampa in the opener. That's 4 of 7. And then you went 2, 1, 2. 7 of your last 10 games, you have put up 2 runs or less. That's not going to win you a lot of baseball games. Not even in this depressed era of baseball offense. That is not going to win you a lot of baseball games. It's unacceptable for a team that has as much talent as they do. I mean, you look at the Red Sox lineup, and their 2 through 5, 2 through 6 is close to as good as anybody in baseball. Story, although he hit leadoff today, fine. Story, Devers, Bogarts, Martinez, Verdugo, that is close to as good as any lineup in baseball for your top 4. Story, Bogarts, Devers, they're top 5. You can't be scoring 2 runs a game. It's just unacceptable. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. All right, let's talk about the baseball. We're going to do that next. I'm not as mad as everybody else is about the baseball, but Major League Baseball did find another way to screw something up. I'll explain. That's next on DEV.
WDEV at 90 is brought to you in part by New England Municipal Resource Center, NEMRIC, proudly supporting local government, local businesses, and WDEV.
Now more than ever, Vermonters are eager to get out and about. And Vermont's outdoor recreation businesses and organizations are here to help. They build and maintain the trails we walk and ride. They grow and sell the local food that keeps us going, and make and sell the gear that keeps us strong and safe. The Vermont Community Loan Fund is here to help Vermont's outdoor rec industry with our new Trails Loan Program, supporting outdoor recreation and those who make it possible. Trails offers financing and free business resources to help Vermont's trailblazing outdoor rec community grow stronger and more sustainable, generating jobs and energizing our rural economy. The Vermont Community Loan Fund, for over 30 years, Vermont's nonprofit business lending partner. Learn more about trails and our other business lending programs at investinvermont.org. That's investinvermont.org.
Spring is here, which means athletes and outdoor enthusiasts are hitting the fields, tracks, and trails in preparation for summer play. Hello, I'm Dr. Kevin McNamara, a podiatrist at Mansfield Orthopedics. As you gear up for outdoor activities, let's not forget about your feet. For more than 30 years, I've been caring for people and their feet. Sometimes the care is an easier fix, other times treatment is long-term or may involve surgery. In addition to sports medicine, I care for many common foot ailments, from corns, bunions, and plantar fasciitis, to more serious issues including diabetic foot complications, wounds, and infections. Some of the more common sports injuries I care for include sprains, foot and toe fractures, heel pain, Achilles, and other tendon injuries. For more information on Copley Hospital's foot care program, or to schedule an appointment with me, Dr. McNamara, or my colleagues, call 802-888-8405 or visit mansfieldorthopedics.com.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results. results where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
Want Brady to hear your opinion on the sports stories of the day? Text in at 802-585-3026.
This is Freddie Coleman of ESPN, and you're listening to Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV and WDEVradio.com.
Thank you very much, Freddie. I spoke with Freddie yesterday on the Brady Farkas Show podcast channel on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and WDEVradio.com, so you can check it out there. I should also mention that my opening rant on the Red Sox was brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber. They are Vermont's leader in, all things, see the best way, all things home improvement, all things yard care, pretty much Vermont's leading home center. That's the way we like to say it. So they've got 5 locations: Enosburg, Derby, St. Albans, Middlesex, and at Swanton Lumber. So you can check them out at sticksandstuff.com. Let's talk about the baseball. They were making a big deal about the baseball on the television broadcast on NESN. I did not catch all of the radio broadcasts as I was watching it, waiting, to give takeaways here. But the baseball has been a major source of conversation over the last week. Here's the deal. Offense is down across the sport. Home runs are down across the sport. Offense is down across the sport. You look at baseball, and the scores are low constantly. Just today alone, with half the schedule played, 1-0 Blue Jays Red Sox. We had a 3-2 final between Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. We had a 3-2 final between Houston and Texas. We had a 2-1 final between Tampa and Seattle. We had a 3-2 final between Miami and Washington. We had the White Sox score 2 runs. We had Colorado score 1 run. Detroit scored 1 run. Cleveland's got 1 run through 8 at-bats right now. Scoring is down. Offense is down. And what everybody has pointed to and what people have complained about is that the baseball is different. The baseball has been deadened. Remember in 2019 when we saw the huge proliferation of home runs? We saw everybody swinging for home runs. Well, what baseball has done now, apparently, is make the baseball not travel as far. And let me say this. I'm not against a deadened baseball. Not like everybody else is. But I am against baseball doing this right now. What you need in the sport is balance. You want to balance out your advantages. And what baseball has done is all at one time this year, they have given the pitcher every possible advantage. Nearly every possible advantage. Look at what you can. The rules haven't really changed right now. All right? In baseball, you can still shift. That depresses offenses. That helps the pitcher. The pitcher himself is incredible. The pitcher in general, the pitcher position in Major League Baseball has never been better. Every starter throws gas. Every reliever throws gas. The rosters are bigger, so there's more pitchers. It's harder to hit today's pitching. So the pitching in general is better. You can still shift, which also helps the pitcher and the defense, reduces the offense. You haven't made any impact on the number of pitchers that can be used in a game or the way that a bullpen can be used. You haven't taken out the opener or anything. So these staffs could just parade out all of these pitchers that can do all of these amazing things. That's another advantage to the defensive side of things and to the pitcher side of things. And now you have taken the juice out of the ball as well. Everything is skewed towards the pitcher all at one time. The only advantage that the offense has is now every team has the DH. That is an advantage to the offense. That's something they didn't have before. And you took away the spider tack. And that was a big one. But by and large, the pitcher has every advantage. What we should have done is wait until next year. Next year, the rules are going to change. The offense will have more of an advantage. Next year, there's not going to be shifts. Offense will have something skew in their favor. Next year, we're going to have bigger bases, which is going to shorten the distance, which is going to make more stolen bases available. There will be more opportunities for offense there. Teams will be able to really build for a DH. Right now in the National League, I'm sure there are utility infielders playing DH. They will have a full offseason to build their roster accordingly so that they have better offenses in the National League. Next year, the offense will get some advantage. If you want to deaden the baseball next year to limit that advantage from going completely the other way, that's what you should have done. Because right now, we're looking at the pitcher getting 85% of the advantage, the hitter getting 15%. Next year, it's going to be closer to 50-50. That's when the baseball should have been deadened. Because I love the sport. I love baseball more than any sport. And I'm with you. It's frustrating to see 1-0 all the time, to see 2-1, to see 3-2. I want some variety in the game. I don't want every game to be the same. Look, what we had in 2019 with all the home runs, everything was a home run. Guys that had no business hitting home runs could hit 20. I don't want to see that. I don't want every game to be 10-9, but I don't want every game to be 1-0, and it feels like we're there far too regularly. I want to go to the park and know, sure, I could see 10-9 with 5 homers, but I could also see 1-0 and see a no-hitter. I can't see the same script every night, which is basically what I'm seeing. Give me an 8-7 game, give me a 2-1 game, give me a 5-4 game on 3 consecutive nights, because right now we're watching the same movie over and over. Look at the Red Sox schedule. Again, I told you, 7 games out of the last 10, they have scored 2 runs or less. Look at the scores of that game. 2-1 against Toronto, 3-2 against Toronto, 3-2 against the Rays, 1-0 against Toronto. Like in those games, 4 of those games, the scores are incredibly low. I think baseball wants to deaden the ball so that guys stop swinging for the fences, and that, hey, let's reintroduce the single. Let's reintroduce the single to right with 2 strikes. I'm for that. I'm for the stolen base. I'm for the speed guy. I'm for different kinds of players. I want that. But it should have been that way next year. Next year, the offense gains power back to some degree. The pitchers will still be incredible, but they may limit the number of pitchers that you can use. They may limit the number of changes that you can make. They may incentivize the starting pitcher to go longer into games. All of that would help the offense. You want to give the defense an advantage, deaden the ball next year. It didn't need to be deadened now. I'm for it being deadened, period. But you did it a year too early. You did it a year too early. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. One other note on the Red Sox today. Garrett Whitlock did not have his best stuff. He only went 3 innings. It took him more than 60 pitches to accomplish those 3 innings. I ultimately think, though, a performance like that will be good for him. It is good for you as a young pitcher to experience adversity. And right now, so far, in most of what Whitlock has done, it has been easy. And he's made it look easy. It's not always easy. And today, he had to overcome. He had a kind of a weird first inning. He had an error to overcome in the 3rd inning. He had a couple of walks. He never walks anybody. There was an issue with the count at one point, so he had to overcome the umpire or the communication system or the scoreboard operator or whoever. He was not as efficient. I mean, he threw 48 pitches in 4 innings against Tampa. He threw 60 in 3 today. That's a significantly more pitches per inning. If you ultimately want to grow Garrett Whitlock as a starter, I believe him going through some adversity is ultimately a good thing. And I think he will grow from it. Did he do enough today to solidify that he's a starter in the future for the rest of the season and not Tanner Houck? I would say no. I think we saw enough bullpen warts in this last couple of games that you would think the best thing right now for the Red Sox is to have Whitlock as that high leverage reliever. Here's where I disagree, though, with how the Red Sox have used him. I don't like using Whitlock for 4 innings on the backside of Rich Hill only and then letting him sit for 3 days. I got to have him more often in these high leverage situations. I could have used him multiple games in this series. So I would imagine Houck probably sticks in the rotation, but Whitlock, I can't just pigeonhole him into only this 4-inning role. So he's either got to be a starter or he's got to be a guy that you can deploy almost every night. I think today was enough of a struggle that he hasn't earned solely full-time starter status. I don't think it was, if it had been easy today, if it had been 5 shutout innings where he's just zipping through everybody, then he would have had to stay a starter. But I think you go back to Houck now as you go through. And we'll see Houck, this weekend against the Orioles, he'll be eligible to play in Baltimore. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. NFL Draft is coming up about an hour and 15 minutes from now. What's the latest scuttle we hear on the Patriots? I'll talk to you about it next on WDEV, AM and FM.
Hi, I'm Tony Goldwyn. Ukraine remains under attack. Millions of people have fled, creating the fastest growing refugee crisis in modern history. Children and families are seeking safety. AmeriCares is responding with critical medicine and supplies, and we're working alongside local partners to get aid where it's most needed. For more than 40 years, AmeriCares has met health needs after natural disasters and in humanitarian crises. We know health is essential for everyone's future. Now AmeriCares is protecting the health of children and adults caught in this terrible crisis. In Ukraine and in the surrounding countries, there is a critical need for medicines, medical supplies, and ongoing health care. AmeriCares is meeting health needs of refugees from Ukraine, and we're ready to do more. So let's work together. Together, we can improve health. Together, we can save lives. Learn how at americares.org/help Ukraine. AmeriCares. Health is on the way.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Did you serve in the military? Do you have access to your local Vermont or Western New Hampshire public library? If so, stop by and ask library staff for a free packet from the White River Junction VA containing information on benefits and eligibility. Library Gateways to VA is a project partnering the White River Junction VA with area public libraries. So stop by your local library today and ask for a Library Gateways to VA information folder.
The Brady Farkas Show now has an interactive text line, so reach out now at 802-585-3026.
This is Field Yates of ESPN, and you're listening to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV Radio and the WDEV app.
Thank you very much, Field. This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Field and his teammates at ESPN are going to be very busy with the NFL Draft. Roger Goodell will hit the podium in an hour and 11 minutes and 54 seconds from now, as the ticker tells me. Patriots scheduled to pick number 21 in the draft. There's a couple, before we get to the Pats, there's a few things tonight that I'm really going to be watching for. There's a few things over the draft as a whole that I'm really going to be watching for. One, is Deebo Samuel going to get traded? You'd have to think that if Deebo Samuel is going to get traded, it's going to happen tonight. The 49ers are said to want 2 first-round picks, and they don't even want to entertain a deal for Samuel. But if they were, you'd have to be coming with 2 first-round picks. And I believe there's 4 teams that have 2 first-round picks right now. Jets are one of them. Giants are one of them. Philly, I think, Philly's got 3 first-round picks. So if Deebo Samuel's going to get traded, it's going to happen tonight. I'm interested in seeing if that happens. How about DK Metcalf? He's going into the last year of his contract in Seattle. They say they don't want to trade him. I don't want him to be traded. If he's going to get traded, it's going to happen tonight because you're going to want an immediate return. You're not going to wait to trade him for next year's draft picks. You're going to want an immediate return. And then what about Baker Mayfield? You have these quarterback-needy teams that are all somewhat linked to draft prospects. Well, will any of them want to go and take on the known commodity in Baker Mayfield? We know Baker Mayfield is not suiting up for Cleveland next year. There are teams that need quarterbacks. Seattle needs a quarterback. Carolina needs a quarterback. New Orleans needs a quarterback. The Giants might need a quarterback. There are teams that need quarterbacks. Which one of them, if any, will go and make a move for Baker Mayfield? I don't believe that trade has to happen tonight. I think Baker could be had for a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick. Depends on how much money you want to take. But as I look at the draft, things that I'm interested in seeing the resolution of, will Deebo get traded? Will DK Metcalf get traded? And will Baker Mayfield get traded? What will happen with these guys? And that's going to be very, very fascinating to watch. Baker is the most polarizing. I think Baker is the most likely to get traded. I think Metcalf is second. I don't think that Deebo Samuel is going to get traded. John Lynch has been hesitant in San Francisco to even discuss or entertain the idea of trading Deebo Samuel. I don't know if he's going to be able to fix things with Deebo Samuel, but I also don't get the impression that he really wants to trade him either. So those are the things to watch for. As for the Patriots, what do I want to watch for? Are they going to make their pick at number 21? Are they going to make their pick at number 21? It is always a threat that the Patriots will trade back. I do not want them to, but it is always a threat that the Patriots will trade back. It's all about value, right? It's all about acquiring assets. It's all about acquiring value. The Pats very well may make a deal back. Now, allegedly, it's going to be hard to trade back. And the reason why is this, Albert Breer, the Monday Morning Quarterback, tells us.
It's going to be really hard to trade down. Why? Here, though. Because I think after you get past pick 12 or 13, it flattens out, and the difference between 14 and 44 isn't very big.
So you're saying no one's going to want to move up?
No one's going to want to move up, and that's a huge issue. I mean, I've talked to teams that are picking both at the top of the first round and the second round, and instead of them calling the teams that are top of the first round and asking to move up, they're calling saying, hey, if you want to move up from the bottom of the second round into the first round, come and call us.
So there you go. Really, people think that the top 10 or so in this draft are kind of studs. After that, they're like, there aren't a lot of home runs. They think the meat and potatoes of this draft is in the second round. So teams might be willing to trade a first to get a couple of seconds in order to get more of those guys, in order to get more just good starters as opposed to taking chances on guys that you have questions about. That seems to fit the Bill Belichick methodology. I would not be shocked to see Bill Belichick try to do exactly what Breer said, get multiple starters in the second round, get multiple picks. The question is, will he be able to find a dance partner? I want the Patriots to make a selection. I'm tired of the Patriots trading back. I want them to find impact, have a player on a 5-year contract. I want them to go for it. I want them to get a wide receiver. I want them to get a fast linebacker. I want them to get a DB. If they take one of those 3 positions in the first round, I will be happy. But I want them to make a pick. Other things to look for in the draft tonight. When does the first quarterback get selected? We've heard this is not a great quarterback draft. Who, if anybody, takes the gamble in the first round? Is it Carolina at 6? Is it Seattle at 9? Both teams that need quarterbacks. Is it New Orleans who wants in? Is it Malik Willis from Liberty, the unproven kid from the small school? Is he the first quarterback taken? I love the draft. I have not loved, as I told you yesterday, the run-up to the draft, but I love the draft. And now that we are here, I am so in on tonight. And there's so many things to watch unfold. It seems like wide receivers are going to be kind of picked a run-up of. A run of DBs is possible today as well. You know, Stingley from LSU, Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. There are guys at DB to be had. See if the Patriots can get one of them. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to come out of today in the draft for the Patriots. I want to see them make a pick, and I want to see them get some impact, get some explosiveness, get some athleticism. That's what they need more than anything. That's what they need more than anything. That's going to do it for us. Shortened edition of the Brady Farkas Show after Red Sox baseball. Again, the Sox lose to the Blue Jays by a score of 1-0. The only run scores on an Alejandro Kirk single on a 2-strike curveball from Garrett Whitlock in the 3rd inning after an error by Christian Arroyo. That was it. Unearned run. Red Sox are now 8-12 through 20 games. We've still got, let's see here. 7/8 of the season to go. We've still got plenty of time. That said, Red Sox got to get their act together. The offense has got to be better. They're going to take on the Orioles beginning tomorrow. We're going to short show again tomorrow. Our coverage will begin at 6:05 for Red Sox baseball tomorrow. When we come in tomorrow, we're going to recap the Patriots draft. What did they or did they not do tonight at pick number 21? Also, a little bit on the Celtics tomorrow as well. We now know the C's are going to take on the Milwaukee Bucks in the next round. I'm going to tell you, I've got the Celtics winning that series in 6 games. I've got the Celtics in 6 games. I'll give you my rationale tomorrow as well. But C's in 6. That is how I see that going. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Red Sox again fall, and Jazz with George Thomas is coming up next. Everybody enjoy round 1 of the NFL draft. Best of luck to whatever team you support on getting the next big thing for your franchise. Again, explosiveness, athleticism, linebacker, DB, receiver. Any of those 3 positions tonight you should be happy about. Anything else? Well, we're probably going to have a problem. We'll talk about it tomorrow, everybody. This is WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder,